Hey, this is Kira. Welcome to Move Like a Contrology Freak. But we are going to do something totally different today. No Pilates. I'm going to teach you some active isolated stretches for your lower leg, ankle, and foot. So here's a little backstory. If you've been following me, you know that I was a professional dancer and an aerial artist for 20 years. My last gig was a 4-year run in off-Broadway's Fuerza Bruta Look Up, which required lots of strength, mobility, and stamina, and the risk for overuse injury was high. I was considered older at that point in my career because I was in my early 40s. My body required so much more maintenance than it did when I was in my early 20s. So before every single show, I would do a Pilates mat workout and an active isolated stretch sequence, including some of the stretches I'm going to show you now. After the show, I would also do my active isolated stretch sequence, and I swear to you, when I was consistent with those things, I never got injured. So, meet me on the mat. All you'll need is your body, either a yoga strap or a rope. This rope has been with me since the 90s. Are you ready? If you are someone who stands on your feet all day, if you run, jump, maybe you're an athlete or a dancer, you are gonna love me. All right, so start without your yoga strap or rope. We'll start with our right leg. Sit up as tall as you can, bend your right knee so it's at a 90-degree angle. Now there's rules to these stretching. It's called active isolated stretching for a reason. So listen carefully. Flex your foot. You're activating the muscles in the front of your shin. Keep activating those muscles. Take your hands and grab the ball of your big toe and the ball of your small toe and bend your elbows to increase the stretch for 2 counts, and then you let go and relax your muscles. And again, you flex your foot, so I'm activating these muscles. I keep them active. My hands add to the stretch. I pull for 2, 1, I release, these muscles relax. We're gonna add a little bit of flow. Ready? Flex your foot, grab the balls of your feet and pull for 2 and 1 and release. That's 3. Flex your foot, keep flexing your foot, and then pull the balls of your feet towards you as your heel goes forward and release. That's 4. Flex, grab the ball of your big toe and small toe, bend your elbows instead of leaning backwards to create the stretch, and let go. 3 more. Flex, pull on the ball of your big toe and small toe. These muscles are active, and then release. Last 2. Flex, pull on the ball of your foot for 2 and 1, and release. You have 1 more. Flex, keep these muscles active as you pull on the ball of your foot and release. All right, moving on. Take this heel, bring it as close to your booty as you can. We're gonna stretch our Achilles tendon. So once again, flex your foot, grab the ball of your big toe and small toe, and then pull up on the ball of your big toe and small toe, and then release. Flex your foot, you keep flexing, pull up. My heel is reaching down into the mat, and then release. That's 2. Flex. I keep flexing. This is going to start to burn a little bit. You are strengthening the anterior compartment of your lower leg, and then lower. And again, flex, keep flexing, and pull up. This is actually good for people who get shin splints. And then release. 4 more. Flex, pull up. I'm going to show you a little trick to make it deeper. I like to take my opposite hand, so this is my left hand. I flex my foot. I slide my left hand underneath my foot. So the heel of my hand is underneath the ball of my foot, and then I grab with my right hand and I pull up. So I'm kind of pulling back on the ball of my big toe more, and I stretch my Achilles tendon deeper. And then release. Flex, grab your foot, and then pull up. I'm still trying to sit up tall, keep flexing my foot, and release. Let's do 1 more. Flex, grab the bottom of your foot, and then pull up on the ball of your foot as your heel reaches down, and then relax the muscle. We're gonna work other muscles. So now you take your rope or your yoga strap, and it goes across the ball of your foot. Try to lift the bones in your lower back as much as you can. If you need to elevate yourself by sitting on a yoga block, do that. So now I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I flex my foot so I'm activating those muscles. I keep activating those muscles, and I bend my elbows like I'm doing a seated row, and I drive my heel forward, triceps back, and then I release. You flex your foot to activate the anterior compartment. I'm pulling my triceps back and driving my heel forward, and then release. That's 2. Flex your foot, keep pushing your heel forward. Can you lift the bones in your lower back? Almost feel like you're sticking your butt out. And then release. That's 4. Flex, I could be messing up the counts. Now when you pull, make sure you're pulling evenly on the ball of your big toe and small toe, that you're not sickling your foot. And then release. 3 more. Flex, Keep flexing. Lift the bones in your lower back. I am driving my heel forward and pulling the sole of my foot back, and then release. 2 more. Flex. Lift the bones in your lower back. Drive your heel forward and your booty bones back, and release. Let's do 1 more. Flex. Keep flexing. Your arms add to the stretch. 2, 1, and then release. We'll do the same thing on the other leg. So I'm going to face you so you have a different view. This is my left leg. I'm bending it at a 90-degree angle to stretch my soleus muscle. I flex my feet, activating the anterior compartment of my leg. I grab the ball of my big toe and small toe and gently pull for 2 and 1, and then I release and let it go. I flex, I pull by bending my elbows, 1, and then I let it go. Make sure this stays contracted. I contract, I keep contracting the anterior compartment of my leg as I pull, and then release. And again, I flex, I pull for 2 counts, 1, and then I let this muscle relax. You have 4 more. Flex, you pull a little bit deeper, keep lifting your spine, and release. Flex, pull it a little bit further, keep that anterior compartment contracted, and release. Last 2, flex, and pull for 2 and 1, and release. As I pull the sole of my foot back and my heel forward and down, and release. Now I pull my heel close to my booty to work or to stretch my Achilles tendon. I flex my foot, I grab the ball of my big toe and small toe and pull the sole of my foot up as my heel goes down, and I release. I flex, I keep flexing, and I pull up on the balls of my feet and release. I flex, I try to pull a little bit further, keep lifting my spine up and release. 1 more like this. Flex, and you pull it a little bit more. Now remember, you can intensify this stretch. My right hand will go underneath my left foot. I flex my foot, and then I pull back. I'm really pulling on the ball of my big toe because I like that stretch in my Achilles tendon to be deep. And then release. I flex, I pull it back a little bit more. I keep lifting my spine and bending my elbows to create the stretch, and release. 2 more. Flex, and I pull for 2. 1, and release. Final 1. I flex and pull for 2 and 1 and release. Now to stretch the gastrocnemius, I straighten my leg. This rope or your yoga strap goes on the ball of your big toe and small toe. I flex my foot, activating my shin muscles. I drive my heel towards you and pull the sole of my foot back towards me, and then release. Sit up as tall as you can and flex your foot. Drive your heel forward, lift your spine, feel like you're sticking your butt out a little bit, and release. I flex. Now you want to pull evenly with both hands. Notice how your foot can deviate. You want it to look like you're standing on the 3 corners of your feet, and release. You flex. Pull back evenly across the ball of your big toe and small toe. Lift your spine and release. 4 more. Flex. Drive your heel forward. Pull the sole of your foot back and release. See if you can sit up a little bit taller as you flex your foot. Tailbone back, heel forward, and release. I think we have 2 more. Flex. Drive your heel forward. Keep lifting your spine and release. Final 1. Drive your heel forward. Keep contracting your shin as you stretch and release. All right, moving on. Let's keep working the left leg. Cross your ankle over your thigh. You can even fold the towel and place it between your legs if it creates a little bit of pain. Interlace your right fingers between your left toes to stretch the webbing between your toes. The heel of my hand goes right below the balls of my feet. I stabilize my left knee with my left hand, and then I circle my ankle 5 times in each direction. And 4, and 5, and then I reverse the circles. 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and release. Now we'll stretch the anterior compartment of our leg, or the front. So you have to start by pointing your foot, which fires your calf muscles that you already stretched. Okay, so try that again. You'll point your foot, take the heel of your hand, and press it against your metatarsals, the top of your foot, and feel that stretch across your arch, and then release. You point, keep pointing, and then stretch across the top of your foot, and release. Point. Now as you stretch, make sure you don't hook your foot. See how my foot is curved up? Keep it straight and point. 1, and release. And again, point. Create a stretch. 1, and release. 4 more. Point. Keep activating your calf muscles as you stretch. 1, and release. 3 more. Point. Keep pointing as you stretch. 1, and release. Last 2. Point. Keep pressing your toes behind you and release. Final 1. Keep pressing and stretching your arch and release. Other side. Interlace your left fingers between your right toes. Stabilize your right knee with your hand and then circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then release. Now you activate your calf muscle by pointing your foot. The heel of my hand presses my foot backwards to create a stretch in my arch. And then I release. And again, point, stretch, and keep lifting your spine and release. Press. The heel of my hand is pressing the top of my foot to create the stretch and release. Point. Keep pointing. Feel these muscles tighten. And then release. 4 more. Point. Keep pointing and stretch. 2 and release. Point. Notice I only hold the stretch for 2 counts. And release. 2 more. I only stretch it for 2 counts, but every repetition I try to stretch deeper. And release. Final 1. And stretch. And 1. And release. Moving on. Okay, so far we've stretched the posterior compartment of our legs and the anterior compartment. Now we're gonna do the lateral and the medial side of the leg. I'm gonna turn sideways so you get a better view. I'm gonna start by crossing my left ankle over my right thigh. Now to stretch the outer part of my leg, I have to contract the medial part. The way you do that is try to rotate the sole of your foot to face the ceiling. You feel those muscles fire? And then relax. Try 1 more. Rotate the bottom of your foot like you're trying to get the ball of your small toe to point up towards the ceiling. These muscles fire here and release. Now to create the stretch, I take my right hand and I grab the outer edge of my foot. My thumb presses into the ball of my big toe and my left hand grabs my ankle. So now contract the medial part of your leg. Now use your hand to keep rotating the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling and then release. Again, you contract these muscles to rotate the sole of your foot up. I use my thumb to press the ball of my big toe down, and I use my hand to try to rotate my small toe up and then release. Let's add some flow. So I rotate and I facilitate more rotation with my hands and I release. I rotate the sole of my foot to face the ceiling and I keep contracting here and then release. 4 more. Rotate the sole up. Keep stretching. 1 and release. And again, rotate your sole up. Can you get your pinky toe to face the ceiling? And then release. Last 2. Rotate. You should feel a stretch along the outer ankle and the outer leg and release. Final 1. Rotate. Keep rotating it up towards the ceiling and release. Let's do the other side. I'm going to turn this way, cross my right ankle over my left thigh. My left hand grabs the outer edge of my foot. My thumb goes into the ball of my big toe, and my right hand grabs my ankle. So first, just try to contract the medial aspect of your leg by rotating your foot up towards the ceiling, and then release. Now let's add the stretch. Rotate your foot. Now use your hand to keep twisting your foot up towards the ceiling and get that stretch. And release. Rotate your foot. Keep rotating your foot. You add to the stretch with your hands and release. Rotate. And then you exhale for 2 and 1 and release. Rotate. You exhale for the stretch for 2 and 1 and release. 4 more. Rotate the sole of your foot up. Can you get the ball of your small toe to point towards the ceiling and release? 3 more. Rotate. Rotate that sole of your foot up towards the ceiling and release. Final 2. Rotate. Feel that stretch on your outer ankle, outer leg, and release. 1 more. Rotate. Rotate a little bit more and then release. All right, so now let's stretch the medial aspect of our leg. I'm going to take my left leg, cross it over my right, and then I'm going to evert my foot. So I'm going to rotate the sole of my foot to point towards the floor. When you do that, notice how it fires the lateral part of your leg. So now you take your right hand, your thumb goes on the knuckle of your big toe, and your hand wraps around the bottom of your foot like this. And then my left hand grabs my ankle. Now you have to keep your knee totally still, rotate the sole of your foot to face the floor, and try to rotate your foot down a little bit more and release. I rotate the sole of my foot to face the floor. I use my hand to rotate my small toe up, big toe down, and release. I rotate and stretch for 2 and 1 and release. I rotate. Are you firing the muscles of your outer leg? 1 and release. 4 more. Rotate for 2 and 1, and release. Rotate. I'm stabilizing my knee with my left elbow, and release. 2 more. Rotate. Keep rotating your foot to face the floor, and release. Final 1. Rotate your big toe down, small toe up, release. Same thing on the other side. Right ankle crosses over my left thigh. My left thumb goes on the knuckle of my big toe, and my hand wraps around the outer edge of my foot. Right hand grabs my ankle. I rotate the sole of my foot to the floor, and I keep rotating my pinky toe up, big toe down, and release. I rotate, firing the outer compartment of my leg, and I keep rotating with my hand, and release. Rotate the sole of your foot to face the floor, keep rotating it downwards, and release. Rotate, keep trying to lift your pinky toe up, big toe down, and release. Rotate, stretch a little bit more, and 1, and release. 3 more. Rotate, exhale. 1, inhale, release. Exhale, stretch for 2, and 1. Inhale, release. 2 more. Rotate for 2, and 1, and release. Final 1, and release. All right, we're done. Almost. All right, so just stand up and notice how your feet feel on the mat. I already feel like my feet are like fluffier or puffier, like there's more circulation in the soles of my feet. Look down to make sure that they are parallel to one another, and try to have equal weight on the ball of your big toe, small toe, in the center of your heel. I'll turn sideways, place the back of one hand on your lower back, and take a big inhale. As you exhale, suck your lower abdominals into your hands so you're scooping your powerhouse in. Keep doing that as you take another inhale. Exhale, can you pull your lower abdominals in even deeper? Now take your free hand, it goes behind your head. Take an inhale, pull your lower abdominals into your low hand, and lift them to the base of your skull to grow taller. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, pull your lower abdominals into your lower back, lift them up. 1 more. Take an inhale. Exhale, scoop in and up. Place your hands on your hips. Shift your weight forward so you rock to the ball of your big toe and small toe. Have even pressure across the balls of your feet. Lift your powerhouse and shift back to the center of your heels. And again, shift your weight forward, lean into the ball of your big toe and small toe evenly. Lift your powerhouse, shift back to your heels. 1 more, lift your powerhouse, lean forward, equal pressure across your feet, and then shift back to the center of your heels, and then find the balance between both. I'm going to turn to face you. My feet are still underneath my hips. Now roll to the inside arches of your feet, and then roll to the outer edges of your feet. Roll to the inside arches of your feet, lifting the outer edges up, and then roll to the outer edges of your feet. Now roll to the inside arches of your feet and hold. Keep pressing down through the mound of your big toe and your inner heel. Now reach the mound of your small toe down and your outer heel, lengthen your toes and relax them down. And then pull your lower abdominals in and up and press your head through the ceiling so you root down through your feet in order to rise up through your spine. And you are done.